the end. So she wrote it out for me.
Call this meeting of the Fremont County Board of Commissioners to order. Would you please rise for the invocation to be offered by Pastor Bob Kipley of the Shepherd of the Hills Lutheran Church. Good morning.
Good morning. Almighty God, you have given us this good land as our heritage. Make us always remember your generosity and constantly to do your will. Bless our land with honesty in the workplace, truth in education, and honor in daily life. Save us from violence, discord, and confusion, from pride and arrogance, and from every evil course of action. When times are prosperous, let our hearts be thankful, and in troubled times, do not let our trust in you fail. Make us, who come from many nations, with many languages, a united people that delights in the many gifts of others. Defend our liberties and keep us mindful of the poor. Through Christ our Lord we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Commissioner Norden?
Present.
Commissioner Payne?
Present.
Commissioner Bell?
Present.
County Clerk Barr? Present. County Attorney Jackson?
Present.
County Manager Bryant?
Present.
Planning and Zoning Director Koch?
Present.
Now I believe we have some items to add to today's agenda.
We do, Mr. Chair. I would like to add item number 5 under new business, consideration of appointing Keith Berry to the Fremont County Heritage Commission. And also item number 6 would be change order for patch construction for the airport fire control utility project.
Is that a motion?
Yes, that is a motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt the agenda, adding items 5 and 6 for Heritage Commission appointment and a change order for the airport utility project. Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Norton?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Have the consent agenda before you. We are under the consent agenda. We are scheduling a public hearing for our next meeting, the 25th of October at 10 a.m. on a modification for the conditional use permit for the J&J Stone Pit for Crowthco Inc. That's north of Canyon City along Red Canyon Road, and that'll be coming up for public hearing in 2 weeks.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve today's consent agenda.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve today's consent agenda is presented. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner Norton?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Staff and elected officials reports. We have a monthly report from Katie Barr.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My report is for the month of September. The total motor vehicle fees, sales taxes, and recording fees collected for September were $952,309.51. Fremont County's portion for disbursement is $538,937.93, and that is 57% of the total fees collected, and is $43,521.46 less than last year.
So the numbers go both ways, don't they? They go up and then they go down.
It seems like that, and we make up for some months in other months, and then we get behind a little, and then we'll try to make up for it.
making up for it would be really great for the county commissioners. We have embarked on our 2017 budgeting process, and although monthly reports that we're getting in look pretty good, we seem to be having an issue with quite enough revenue, so stay tuned.
Okay, and I kind of look at these reports in line with an article I was reading last week that talked about, I think it was not only statewide but nationwide, that the number of new vehicle sales was up considerably in the last year. So
Even here, we see a lot of new vehicles, more so than used.
yeah, so apparently that trend is reflected locally as well as statewide. Any other questions, comments for the county clerk?
Thank you.
Chair will entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we accept the county clerk's monthly report.
Second?
Motion and a second to accept the county clerk's monthly report. Discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Norton?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And we have the monthly report from our county manager.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sunny.
So I have just a couple of quick items. On Tuesday, the 27th, the commissioners and I took a tour of the jail kitchen renovation project, and the demolition was just about completed at that point. They were starting to put in all of the rough-in electrical and plumbing and everything, so that's coming along very well. On Monday, October 3rd, Commissioner Norton, Commissioner Bell, and I met with various community members to discuss the Colorado Opportunities Scholarship Initiative, which is the COSI grant scholarship program that is available right now. And the group is going to work on coming up with some guidelines and different things for the criteria for applying for that. So we encourage some students that are going to college to look for those guidelines coming out here in the future to hopefully help with some funding. And the commissioners and I are working on budget, as Debbie said. So we've been holding various meetings, trying to come up with some budget items and look at departments. And as Debbie said, we unfortunately, even though revenues are up right now, so are the needs and expenses in various departments. So we'll hopefully get all of that worked out and be presenting a budget here in the next couple weeks, and then it will be scheduled for a public hearing in November, and then we'll be adopting a budget on December 20th is the timeline right now. So.
Okay, any questions for Sunny?
No questions. Thank you, Sunny.
Thank you.
Glad to see the Pathfinder Park water line is finally in.
It's, yes.
So that we have hydrants on the other side of the arena, a project that's been in the works for
Sometime.
about 3
All
years.
summer. Well, yes,
Well,
it's been, yes.
Been talked about for
It's been
3
a while.
years.
Yep.
So.
And they're actually working on the Pathfinder Park parking lot this week to help with the drainage. If anybody's been out there after a rain, there's quite a few puddles. So hopefully they'll be able to get that completed. And I appreciate Tony and his crew. They've done a tremendous job in adding this to their workload of everything and getting these projects off the list. So.
Indeed, indeed. All right, other staff and elected official reports.
No, got
Nothing?
nothing.
All right, I got a couple of items. First of all, I had the opportunity to spend 3 hours with the county clerk's election staff last week, testing the election process and the electronic election equipment as part of their SOP to make sure that everything works. And everything works, but this commissioner wants to say I have newfound respect for election clerks in general, because the amount of concentration and actual, you wear yourself out thinking and concentrating on such detail that I was physically exhausted by the time those 3 hours were done. So I have newfound respect for the election clerks. I just want to go put that on the record.
You did a great job, by the way. Thank you for volunteering.
And my numbers came out fine on I cast 25 ballots and everything came out just great.
So Commissioner Norton, you found it.
I voted for everybody under the sun on those sample ballots.
Yeah, let me clarify. He cast 25 test ballots.
Test ballots, yes. Test ballots.
Vote early, vote often.
It's interesting to hear Commissioner Norton actually own up to the fact that he found it hard to hang with the ladies from the clerk's
Yes,
office.
well, it was an interesting afternoon. Secondly, I sent out a news release yesterday, and Beth Lenz of the recycling program at the Upper Arkansas Area Council of Governments finally put some statistical data together on the September 17th electronics recycling. And I know I was busy that day and didn't drive past 9th and Earl Gorge Boulevard until I think about 1:45 that afternoon, with 15 minutes left in the day, and saw a few television sets, but I had no idea of the impact that event had. 14,405 pounds of electronic computer equipment, PCs, printers, monitors, and TV sets. 4.6 tons of old television sets, which Beth she didn't have the actual number of television sets, but she says if you figure per pound, per TV set for 20 pounds, she says it was probably over 450 television sets. And the Fremont County Commissioner's connection to this was that in our 2016 budget, we put up $7,500 for electronics recycling in an effort to avoid so many of these pieces of electronic equipment being dumped on both public and private property, including county road rights-of-way, because that's been a problem for our road and bridge department over the years. But so basically it meant half price for the consumers to bring their electronic equipment to this electronics recycling. So the investment that we made with $7,500 from our waste disposal fund, I think has paid off numerous times over. We committed $2,500 to the recycling event last April in Florence and $5,000 to this event in Canyon City. And Beth has indicated to us that she believes $7,500 would be an appropriate amount again in 2017 from the Waste Disposal Fund, and that I discussed with her not only doing Florence and Canyon City, but staging an event at the west end of the county next year as well. So, Mr. McFall, there you go. You can satisfy your west end constituents next year. But Beth indicated the event surpassed her expectations. They had so many pieces that they actually filled the truck and her personal vehicle. They had to leave early, and then they spent another whole day the following week picking up items from people who didn't get their items picked up, including some items that had been dumped along private and public properties since last April. So I just can't say how pleased I am that this has had such a positive effect on getting rid of some of this old electronics equipment.
Mr. Chair, if I could, I thank you for talking for a moment, because you kind of kicked my mind. I do have a couple of quick things I would like to mention. First, the Fremont County Department of Public Health and Environment is hosting a flu vaccination clinic, not this coming Saturday, but the following Saturday on October 22nd from 9 a.m. until noon. It's going to be held in our Garden Park building, which is at 201 North 6th Street, and vaccinations for the flu will be free of charge. So take note of that. Anyone who needs a flu vaccine, please come on out to that. The other thing I would like to mention is the commissioners met again yesterday to finalize our update of the medical marijuana regulations, and we're ready to move forward with those. We expect to put it onto our agenda for our next meeting 2 weeks from today, which is October 25th. We plan to have those new regs posted online later today at our county website, fremontco.com.
These are
And-
the business licensing regulations.
Yes, thank you. Yes, the licensing regulations. So we will be considering those regulations, those updates, and consider also lifting the moratorium on new businesses for medical marijuana at that time. So if you have an interest, please be at that meeting. I think I'm done now.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad I allowed some pause to mention that, because I had that intention as well. Opportunity for citizens to address the board on items that are not on today's agenda, and I have a request to speak from George Story. Good
Morning,
morning,
George.
George.
Good morning.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How's everyone doing this morning?
Doing great.
Good, glad to hear it. Canyon City now has more water and more sewage capacity, and we sure need it. You know, I'm glad to see it. It took a lot of hard work by a lot of people. I've been watching them work. They've been, you know, for about a month, streets been blocked off. People, you know, don't know what's going on, but it all came together. And I'm really glad it did, and I hope now that everything on the ground is looking better. I hope 2A can pass. We really need it. And of course, you know, we all know that Robert Redford and Hanoi Jane are down there filming the movie now. So anyway, I think she actually has a new pen name now. It's called Ho Chi Minh City. Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you, George. New business, item number 1, consideration of a grant agreement with the Colorado Department of Transportation Aeronautical Board, Aeronautical Division of Aeronautics for the airport maintenance project, authorization for the chairman to sign the agreement. Sonny, you want to speak to this?
Sure. So we have awarded the bid and approved the contract for the federal piece for this project. So now we have the contract available for the state portion. So the total project funding is $289,191. The federal piece was $260,272. And then the state piece that we're agreeing to today is $14,459. So that's what's before you this morning, is consideration of this grant agreement.
Okay, so Fremont County's piece is 5%.
Yes, it's $14,460, sorry.
And what kind of work will be done with these funds?
It's actually asphalt work out at the airport, so just runway maintenance.
And this is our annual funding through FAA.
Correct.
Okay, any other questions for Sonny?
So
No
what we need is just an authorization for the chairman to sign the agreement, right?
And approve the agreement.
Right, we
Approve
need
the
to
agreement.
approve the
Okay.
agreement and authorize for the chairman to sign.
No questions? Oh, sorry, but I do have a motion.
Please.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the grant agreement with the State of Colorado Department of Transportation Aeronautical Board Division of Aeronautics for this airport maintenance project in the amount from the state of $14,459. And included in this motion is the authorization for the chairman to sign this agreement.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the grant agreement with the Division of Aeronautics and authorization of the chairman to sign. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner Norton?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Special events liquor license request for the Fremont Community Foundation for the Canyon City Recreation District Halloween Aftermath. So Kyle Horn is representing the Recreation District, and my question for you, Mr. Horn, is after your math class, what did you do? We don't really want to know.
I don't remember too long ago.
All right, so tell us about the event.
The event is one of the 4 nights of our Aftermath event. This is the one where we do an adult night where we have a beer garden thanks to Fremont Community Foundation, as well as a band, bonfire, and the haunted house as well. It's an outdoor event, which means we're totally dependent on the weather. If the weather can be as nice as what's supposed to be this Friday, we'll be very happy. But right now The whole basic idea is just to come on down and have a good time. We do have one entry and exit. There's plenty of fencing around the entire event. This will be the 4th year that we've done this. There is a natural border as well with the bluff, and then also some nice wetlands and bogs at this time of year are very much wet, so there's really no place for people to go. It's an ideal actual location security-wise, and also following all the liquor laws of Colorado. And so we're able to actually do that. We have experienced staff with the Fremont Community Foundation and the Rec District. We have all worked these type of events before, and basically all the staff that's been doing it for the last several years is back. So,
And none of the
Pretty strong
boundaries have changed?
none of the boundaries have changed. Same boundaries that we've used the last 4 years.
Have you had any problems in the past, Kyle?
No, actually, it's been a pretty mild event that time of year. You're kind of dependent on weather. Last year, I think it was about 30 degrees. So let's just say we did not make as much money as we had hoped.
Well, the beer was cold, wasn't it?
It's amazing. People don't want to enjoy a beverage when it's 30 degrees. Go figure. But hopefully the weather will cooperate. But no, there have been very limited issues. We do make sure that we have plenty of lighting down there, especially with the parking lot. We do have people that are roaming, keeping an eye on things, making sure no minors happen to get in or anything along those lines. And we do ID at the gate, but we also then reserve the right to ID at the bar as well. And then you can take 2 beverages with you, but we kind of keep an eye on when that happens, where they're going, that kind of thing. So we have people circulating at all times.
So this event is staged southeast of the dog park?
Yes, it's basically due east of the dog park, and then part of it's completely adjacent. The haunted house is on basically southeast of the dog park, but the haunted house is actually separate. We do not allow the 2 things to mix in, so they can go through the haunted house and then we loop them back in to the bonfire area, but we keep that separate.
The bonfire is not part of the fenced.
No, everything is fenced. Everything is going to be fenced in. The dog park is fenced, but there is the dog park forms the west fence border. There is a fence that goes across the road that we set up to where people then go into the haunted house at. Then, of course, there's a fence along Ash that's basically in a ditch area, and then there are wetlands as well as bluff to the south and to the southeast.
So where's
there's
the
one close
bonfire
there.
in connection with the beverage serving area?
A bonfire is probably about 100 feet from where the beverages are served, maybe a little bit more.
But separated by fence?
No,
Or not?
we have the bonfire itself is going on. We also have the beverage is going to be next to the stage. There's also hay bales, things for people to sit on and enjoy the bonfire, but there is plenty of room between.
So the
The 2.
bonfire then is that big circle that's in the middle of all those hay bales?
Yes,
Okay,
that is the bonfire.
it's just, okay, that's it, right
Okay.
there.
Just want to make sure there's no safety issues with,
Nope, and the nice thing
Consuming
is
a
the
lot of
fire
alcoholic
department has been
beverages.
involved, and we have a retired fireman on site with us the entire time.
okay. Clerk's office, report?
All the paperwork is in order, the property's been posted. We've not had any reports of any problems in the past, so we would recommend approval.
I do have a quick question for the clerk. Page 9 of the application has a line for the 45-day requirement date met, and my copy doesn't have either yes or no marked, because I understand if it was not met, it does require a waiver by the board, so I just want to double check on that.
We do them all
There's
locally.
no requirement for special permit.
Okay,
There used to be, because we used to send them to the state, and then we changed that with our liquor regulations.
Okay.
oh, then we should take that off of there, because I'm confused.
It's a standard form.
But we still need it for renewals.
Okay,
Right, but special events don't require that.
okey doke. All right. Thank you.
And I'm ready for a motion unless you have other questions.
Mr. Chair, ready to offer a motion. Make a motion that we approve the special event liquor license request from the Fremont Community Foundation for their Halloween Aftermath event on October 28th from 3 p.m. to midnight.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the special events liquor request for Fremont Community Foundation for October 28th. Other discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Norton?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Horn.
Good luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
See ya.
We'll keep our fingers crossed for some warm weather for you.
Next item under new business, consideration of the 2017 holiday schedule, and I will ask our county manager to address the calendars that are before us.
Okay, I've put together two proposals. The first one is for the 4-day, 10-hour schedule, and the second one is for the 5-day, 8-hour schedule. The only thing I want to note is that next year, Veterans Day actually falls on a Saturday. So instead of trying to close the Thursday before or the Monday after, which really wouldn't make sense to the majority of the public, we've actually decided to add another 10 hours of floating holiday. So that's our recommendation on these two calendars. For the 8-hour schedule, since it is on a Saturday, we are recommending to go ahead and have the Friday before off. But for the 10-hour schedule, we're recommending just to have another 10 hours of floating holiday.
All right, any questions for Sunny?
No question, but I move to approve the 2017 holiday schedules as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second to adopt the 2017 holiday schedule calendar. Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner Norton?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next item is item number 4, Innovative Structures request revoking the special review use permit issued in 2011 for Innovative Structures, at that time located at 1415 North Street N Street in Penrose. And that business is no longer at that site. The business was sold to Nelson Hoover June 30th of 2014. So a transfer of ownership never submitted to the department, so I'll just ask Matt to go over this for us.
Right. As part of our regulations, we require that the SRU either stay on the site and be transferred or be revoked if it is moved from the site. In this case, they did move to the Penrose Industrial Park. The original owner, Devon Eicher, as well as the new owner, Nelson Hoover, were notified by mail. We have not received any correspondence or any contact from them, so we do recommend revoking this SRU for the site in Penrose.
Okay. So this just removes the SRU from that 1415 N Street address in Penrose.
Correct.
Questions, comments, motion?
We will need a resolution number for this.
30.
Resolution number 30.
Okay. Make a motion that we approve SRU 10-003 for Innovative Structures for the resolution number 30.
I believe it's the revocation of
We're not approving the
SRU?
SRU.
Oh, revocation, excuse me, yes. What Commissioner Bell said.
Okay, I'll second.
All right, motion and second to adopt resolution number 30, revoking special review use permit 10-003 for Innovative Structures. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Norton?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item number 5, added under new business, is consideration to appoint Keith Berry to the Fremont County Heritage Commission. We earlier had an email communication from Mr. Berry indicating his interest to be appointed to fill a vacancy on the Heritage Commission. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, I'm actually looking. Okay, here it is. It was a forward actually from Commissioner Payne.
He is going to replace Judy McCormick, who had some issues with her surgery, and so she had to step down from the Heritage Commission. And Keith Berry is, like it indicated, he would like to join the commission, so I make a motion that we approve Keith Berry joining the Fremont Heritage Commission for Judy McCormick's, the rest of her term, and I don't have that in front of me right now.
I'll second.
Motion and a second to appoint Keith Berry to fill the unexpired term on the Fremont County Heritage Commission. Other discussion?
If you'll give me just a second, I can find out when that term expires. Uh-oh,
It's actually-
seconds up.
Yep. January 1st of 2019.
19, there it is, yep.
Okay, thank you for looking that up.
Thank you, Zenny.
All right.
Thank you, Commissioner Bell.
We aim to please.
Roll call.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Norton?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Last item under new business is consideration of a change order for the airport utility project, change order from Patch Construction. And this came in the last day?
Yes, I received this yesterday. Mr. Patch brought this in and has asked for consideration of the change order. It's for the amount of $539, and once they actually started doing the work at the property, they found some water lines and different things that were underneath the ground that we didn't know about, so that caused him to have to change the locations and get all of that done. So it's an additional $539 to the project.
That's amazing that decades ago we didn't track every single water line that was ever laid at the airport.
Hard to
Amazing,
imagine, isn't it?
amazing.
Some of them we didn't even know were there. They were actually abandoned, so it didn't, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'll move to approve change order for $539 for Patch Construction for the airport utility project for the fire prevention control offices.
I'll second.
Motion and a second to approve the change order. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Norton?
Aye.
Commissioner Bell?
Aye.
Commissioner Payne?
Aye.
Motion carries.
There being no further business to come before the board, we stand adjourned at 10:01.